Hello students, I welcome you all to the online video lecture on course Heat Transfer. In today's lecture, we will solve some numericals on boiling. So this is a lecture number 3. In the lecture number 1 and lecture number 2, we have seen the definition of boiling, the different forms of boiling, and also we have seen the regimes of pool boiling, or it is also known as the boiling curve. In today's lecture number 3, we will solve a numerical on boiling. So these numericals are very important from your examination point of view. So you have to keep the data handbook as well as calculator along with you while solving the numerical. So this is a previously asked numerical in the year VTU 2010 for 10 marks. So let's read the problem carefully. Water at atmospheric pressure is to be boiled in a polished copper pan. The diameter of the pan is 350 mm and is kept at 115 degrees centigrades. Calculate the following. First bit, power of the burner. Second bit, rate of evaporation in kgs per hour. Third bit, critical heat flux for these conditions. So clearly has mentioned it is the boiling. So in the solution, write down the given data as it is. First one is diameter of copper pan, that is capital D. The diameter of copper pan is denoted by capital D, that is 350 mm, which is also equals to 0.35 meters. Next, surface temperature of copper pan. The surface temperature of copper pan, that is TS, equals to 115 degrees centigrades. Next, water is at atmospheric pressure. When water is at atmospheric pressure, its saturation temperature is obviously 100 degrees centigrades. That we have seen in lecture number 2, theory. Okay. So remember students, for the saturation temperature of water is equals to 100 degrees centigrades. So when the water is at atmospheric pressure. Okay. At atmospheric pressure, you have to take here atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure. Okay. So Tsat, or the saturation temperature, equals to 100 degrees centigrades. So sometimes he will not give the saturation temperature, but it is default. By default it is Tsat equals to 100 degrees centigrades. Now we have to take the thermophysical properties of water at 100 degrees centigrades. I repeat, we have to take the thermophysical properties of water at 100 degrees centigrades. Now for that we have to use the data handbook, page number 21. So from page number 21 we can extract this data. So let me show you on the data handbook, the page number 23, page number 23 of the data handbook. So this is a data handbook. Let us refer the page number 23. Let us refer the page number 23. Okay, now this is page number 20. So here it is 21, no problem. So for water, so physical properties of liquid in the saturated state. So for water at temperature 100 degrees centigrades, just copy these properties. So that is density. So density of liquid equals to 961 kg per meter cube. Similarly, this is a kinematic viscosity, copy it as it is, 0.293 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter square per second. So alpha is not required actually, alpha is not required, thermal diffusivity is not required, but you need the Prandtl number, PR equals to 1.74. Next, specific heat, 4216 joules per kg kelvins. and you don't want the value of thermal conductivity. Okay, thermal conductivity is not required. Now let us follow the same page of boiling and condensation. So refer the same page. Now, so this is a page number 142, where you will find all the equations related to the boiling. So you're supposed to use this equation, because in the first bit we need to get the value of the power of a burner. So what does this first equation shows? For the nucleate pool boiling, the heat flux is given by Q by A equals to mu suffix L. This is L, okay, mu suffix L for liquid. HFG is the enthalpy of evaporation. Next, in bracket, G is acceleration due to gravity. Rho L is the density of liquid. Rho V is the density of vapor. Sigma is a surface tension, whole raised to 0.5. CL, this is a specific heat of liquid. Delta TE, this is a temperature difference. Delta T stands for the temperature difference, which is the difference between surface temperature and the saturation temperature. TS minus Tsat. TS minus Tsat. Delta T is nothing but TS, surface temperature minus Tsat. So surface temperature is given, that is 115 degrees centigrades, and Tsat is not given, but by default we have to take it as 100 degrees centigrades. CSF is a constant. HFG is again the enthalpy of evaporation, the Prandtl number PR, and N is a constant, or it is the index. So in notation, he has given everything. N, for N equals to C. Small n, for small n we have to take 1 for water and 1.7 for other fluids. But in this problem he has given water, so you do take N equals to 1. Next, here HFG, where I can find the value of HFG? HFG is enthalpy of evaporation. For that we have to refer page number 144. I repeat, HFG is enthalpy of evaporation, for which we need to refer page number 144. So let us check where it is, the page number 144. Yes, it is a page number 144, and we have to refer the table number. So this is a table, latent heat of evaporation or latent heat of vaporization for water. So the temperature, saturation temperature is 100 degrees centigrades, for which the latent heat is 2256.9 kilojoules per kg. Okay, for 100 degrees centigrades, this is a value of HFG. This is a value of HFG in kilojoules per kg. Okay. Next, we have G is acceleration due to gravity, 9.81. Rho L, we have already taken the value. Next, what is this rho V? Rho V is nothing but the density of vapor. Rho V is nothing but the density of vapor. So for this, we can take the value from the data handbook, page number 142. Okay. So where I can find the properties of steam, just we have to search in properties of steam or water. Okay. Yes. So you can refer page number 39 for rho V value. For rho V value, please refer the page number 39 from the data handbook. So property values of saturated steam at 1 bar pressure, at atmospheric pressure he has given. So at 100 degrees centigrades, the value of density rho V. So rho L is density of water or the density of liquid, but this rho V is the density of vapor. So for 100 degrees centigrades, at 100 degrees centigrades, the density is 0.598 kg per meter cube. Got it? Now after writing all the values, after extracting all the values, just go with the data handbook again. The page number 142. Page number 142. Okay, this is the page number 142 again. So we got sigma rho L and rho V values. Now how to get the value of sigma? Sigma is a surface tension. Just in the notations, just search for sigma. Here is a sigma. Surface temperature for liquid vapor interface. So we have to refer page number 144. For sigma also we have to refer page number 144. So page number 144, here is given the value of sigma. Yes, surface tension sigma for water against air. The temperature is 100 degrees centigrades. So sigma equals to 0.0588. So sigma equals to sigma surface tension sigma equals to 0.0588 Newton per meters. Okay, Newton per meters. So extracting the values is very important. Now already we have taken C value, that is a specific heat of liquid from the data handbook only, page number 21. So delta T is nothing but the temperature difference. Just already I had told. It is a temperature difference. It is a difference between the surface temperature and saturation temperature. Ts minus Tsat. Now CSF. This is also the constant. CSF is a constant. So we have to see the table which is on page number 143. Which is on page number 143. CSF. Yes. The page number 143 CFS. So we have the water. We have the water. Liquid as water. And what is a heating surface? What is a material? Which is a material? The copper is a material. So water is a liquid. Copper is a material. For this combination, we have CSF equals to 0.013. 0.013. Okay, I hope this is clear. HFG already you know, Prandtl number you already know. Substitute all the values in this formula and get the value of heat flux, that is Q by A. So here calculation part is very important. But you can't find the value of mu L directly here, but we know rho L, that is the density of liquid, and also we know the kinematic viscosity nu for liquid. Okay, now let's go to the main sheet. Let's go to the main sheet. So here you can know the value of rho L, the density of liquid 961 kg per meter cube, and the kinematic viscosity nu equals to 0.293 into 10 power minus 6 meter square per seconds. So once you get the value of rho and mu, by the definition of kinematic viscosity, nu, the kinematic viscosity nu equals to the absolute viscosity mu divided by the density rho. This is for liquid. This is for liquid. Okay. Now just do the cross multiplication. Just multiply mu and rho. You will get the value of mu L, because in equation you have mu L. In equation you have mu L. I hope this is clear. Now substitute all the values. Substitute all the values in this equation. So I have written all the values here from the data handbook. Just we have to refer the corresponding page numbers, which is already given in the notation. So substitute all the values, all the values in this equation, and do the calculation carefully. You should have a lot of patience and do the calculation carefully and obtain the answer for Q by A, that is heat flux. See here, delta TE is nothing but the temperature difference. Delta T is nothing but the temperature difference. Let me write the formula for delta TE, which is equals to the surface temperature Ts minus the saturation temperature of water Tsat, the Ts minus Tsat. So Ts is given 115 degrees centigrades. Ts is given, that is 115 degrees centigrades, and T saturation is also known. In fact, it is not given, but the conditions are atmospheric. So the saturation temperature of water at atmospheric condition is equals to 100 degrees centigrades. Okay. Now, after substituting all the values and calculating it precisely, you will get the value of Q by A, the heat flux, as 483,741.48 watt per meter square. This is the value of heat flux. But in the first bit, he asked us to calculate the power of the burner. Power of the burner. So remember this equation, power P equals to heat flux into cross section area. So if you multiply this heat flux with the cross section area A, you will get the power. Okay, because heat flux is in terms of watt per meter square. So if you multiply with the area, then meter square will get cancelled. You will get the unit in terms of watt. So watt is a unit for power only. So you'll get the power P equals to in terms of watt. Okay. So remember, power P equals to heat flux into cross section area of the pan. So diameter is given. Diameter is given. So the area of cross section is pi by 4 d square into Q by A as it is. Now power P in terms of watt is 46541.38. 46541.38 watts. So this is the answer for first bit. Remember guys, these problems are very easy, provided you should know how to extract the values from the data handbook, and the calculation part is important. Okay, so don't put all the equations, entire equation at a time in your calculator. So do the calculation in parts, do the calculation separately, so you'll get you won't get any error. Okay, getting errors in the final answer is less. Okay, now let's go to the next bit. The next bit is rate of evaporation in kgs per hour. Rate of evaporation in kgs per hour. So you know Q equals to, Q is nothing but rate of heat transfer. Q equals to m dot into HFG. M dot is a mass flow rate or rate of evaporation. M dot stands for rate of evaporation into HFG is enthalpy of evaporation. Enthalpy of evaporation. You know the value of Q. See, this P is also nothing but Q only, because already you have multiplied Q by A with area. So A will get cancelled. You will get Q only. So as it is in terms of watts, so it is in terms considered as the power only. Okay. So Q equals to m dot into HFG. So this Q is nothing but 46541.38 watts only, divided by HFG. So you should be very careful while taking the value of HFG here. In this equation also you should be very careful while substituting the value of HFG, students, because the HFG is 2256.9 kilojoules per kgs. But while substitution, you have to multiply this with 10 to the power 3, because here he has given in terms of kilojoules. You can't substitute HFG directly this value. In fact, you have to multiply this value with 10 to the power 3 here. Okay, then you will get the correct answer. So here its unit should be in joules per kgs. Joules, okay, joules per kg. Fine. So you have to substitute 2256.9 into 10 to the power 3 joules per kgs in these equations. Fine. In these equations. So Q divided by HFG, just simplify and you will get the value. The mass flow rate equals to 0.0206 kgs per second. Initially you will get in terms of kgs per second, but if you multiply this value with a 3600, you will get the answer as 74.23 kgs per hour. This is the answer for rate of evaporation in terms of kgs per hour, because in the question itself he has asked rate of evaporation in kgs per hour. I repeat this bit once again, rate of evaporation. So remember students, Q equals to the rate of heat transfer, Q equals to m dot into HFG, where m dot is the rate of evaporation, HFG is the enthalpy of evaporation, and Q is the rate of heat transfer. Just do the cross multiplication, you will get Q by HFG, and Q is this P only, just now we have calculated, and into divided by HFG. HFG already known to us, but provided you should take in terms of joules per kg. That is important thing. So he has asked the value in terms of kgs per hour. Just multiply this with the 3600. You will get m dot equals to 74.23 kgs per hour. Fine. The last bit of the problem, critical heat flux or the maximum heat flux. The critical heat flux is also known as the maximum heat flux. Okay, students, in the data handbook, you can find the equation for critical heat flux. See, the critical or maximum heat flux, which is on again the page number 142 only. In the boiling section, the page number 142 only, you'll find this equation, that is critical or maximum heat flux is given by Q by A into 0.18 times HFG into rho V into the bracket sigma G rho L minus rho V divided by rho V square whole to the power 0.25 whole to the power 0.25. So let's go to the main bit. Now substitute all the values, the known values in this equation and get the value of Q by A, that is critical heat flux. The typical answer for critical heat flux is, this is a answer in terms of watt per meter square. If you divide this by 10 to the power 6, you will get the value in terms of megawatts per meter square. That is Q by A equals to 1.524 megawatt per meter square. Megawatt per meter square. So this is the final answer. Okay. So if you find anywhere any difficulties, you can put your comments in the comment box. Okay. So this is the end of the problem. The problems are very simple. Just you need to refer the data handbook, and you should know how to extract the values from the data handbook. And the calculation part is important. I'm repeating again and again, while using the calculator, you should be very careful. Do the calculation separately in parts. Don't feed all the entire equation at a time. Okay, fine. Now let's go to the next problem. I'll not solve this problem in detail, but this is a like homework for you. Okay, so let's refer the example number 2 here. Water is boiled at a rate of 25 kgs per hour. So this is m dot, rate of evaporation is given 25 kg per hours in a polished copper pan which is of diameter 280 mm at atmospheric pressure. So here also he has given the atmospheric pressure. So saturation temperature equals to 100 degrees centigrades. Assuming nucleate boiling condition, calculate the temperature of bottom surface of pan. Calculate the temperature of bottom surface of the pan. So write down the given data. Water boiling rate equals to m dot 25 kgs per hour or 6.94 into 10 power minus 3 kgs per second. Diameter of copper pan D equals to 280 mm or 0.28 meters. At atmospheric pressure, the saturation temperature of water is 100 degrees centigrade. As he has not given, but you have to consider because the atmospheric pressure is given. So therefore, the saturation temperature equals to 100 degrees centigrade. The procedure is same. Extract the thermophysical properties of water from the data handbook. Refer page number 21. You'll get all these values. Okay. So rho V is the properties of steam. The page number is different here. Next, you know the rho L, the density of liquid. You know the kinematic viscosity. Just multiply these two. You will get the value of mu L. That is absolute viscosity of liquid. So use this formula. But here, you know the value of heat flux. Indirectly, you know the value of heat flux. How to get the value of heat flux? See here, what is to be calculated? The bottom temperature. For that, first you need to get the value of delta TE. This is unknown here. This is unknown. Delta TE is unknown. So once you get the value of delta TE, which is a difference between TS, the surface temperature, minus Tsat, the saturation temperature. With this equation, find out the value of delta T. After that, you know the value of Tsat, that is 100 degrees centigrade. get the value of TS, that is surface temperature or bottom surface temperature of the pan. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now here we need to get the value of Q by A. So Q by A, Q is nothing but m dot into HFG. M dot is already given, the rate of evaporation in terms of kgs per hour. So do convert it into kgs per second. So you are supposed to use this value 6.94 into 10 power minus 3 kgs per second into HFG. HFG is known from the data handbook 2256.9 because thermophysical properties are same. In earlier first problem also you have taken the same properties because in earlier problem also the saturation temperature was 100 degrees centigrades, and in this problem also Tsat equals to 100 degrees centigrades. The properties will remain same. So 2256.9 into 10 power of 3 joules per kgs. The unit is joules per kgs. Divided by pi by 4 d square. D is the diameter of the pan he has given. So calculate, do substitution and calculate, get the value of Q by A. So Q by A equals to 254,369.97 watt per meter square. Now substitute in this equation, you know all the values. You know all the values. The only unknown is delta TE. Once you get the value of delta T, the temperature difference, use this equation delta T equals to surface temperature minus saturation temperature. Substitute here saturation temperature as 100 degrees centigrades. You will get the value of TS, that is surface temperature of the bottom. I hope this is clear. These two problems are very important from your examination point of view. He will definitely ask. If he asks the problem from the boiling, definitely he will ask the one among these two problems. Okay. So I hope this is clear. So please give your answers in the comment box because the calculation of TS is a homework for you. Okay. So calculate the values of TS and put in the comment box, or you can WhatsApp to my number. Okay. Already you know the number. So with this, we'll conclude the lecture number 3. In the next class, we will see a few more numericals on boiling, and after that we'll go to the condensation. In condensation, we are going to deal with the film wise and drop wise condensation. Only one topic is there as far as theory is concerned. Next, we'll go with the numericals because the numericals on condensation are very important from your examination point of view. Okay. So if you study the 2 theory questions or 2 to 3 theory questions from this particular module, you can score good marks. You can score full marks in this particular module. Okay. So the questions are: explain the forms of boiling. The first theory question, explain the forms of boiling. Already we have studied the different forms of boiling, 4 different forms of boiling. Next, the most important question is explain the different regimes of pool boiling. You need to draw the boiling curve and you have to explain each and every regime. And the third expected theory question is explain or the differentiate between the drop wise condensation and film wise condensation. Okay. Plus the numericals on boiling and the numericals on condensation. So this is an important and easy module. It is a scoring module because everything is given in the data handbook. All you need to know how to refer the data handbook and how to extract the values from data handbook. But the calculation part is very important. Okay? So please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and please don't forget to press the bell icon so that whenever I put a new video on YouTube, you'll get the notification instantly. So stay safe, stay at home. Thank you and have a nice day.